Hello and welcome to 5-Year Club video number 354. It is December 28th, 2018, right? Which means I got 29, 30, and 31. I have got 3 days to do, I guess, what looks like 11 videos. Yeah, great. If I'm going to hit that magic 365 number. Whew, all right, so I've got some stuff to think about. Yeah, so it's a Friday, and then we've got Saturday and Sunday. Saturday morning-ish is usually a financial review / planning time for me. And in general, this time after Christmas and before New Year's is a time of financial reflection for me, although this year I haven't done as much financial reflection. I guess because I feel like I know what happened, but that's always a trap because you don't really know what happened until you do the review and break down the numbers and add everything up, and then you're like, oh, oops. Anyway, for this video, because I recommend that you spend tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, or at least one of these days, New Year's Day, Sunday, one of these holidays around New Year's, I recommend that you decide what your plan is going to be for 2019. You develop a written plan for 2019. In preparation for that, I wanted to tell you 3 things to focus on and 3 things to not focus on. You're going to see a lot of different journalism, or you can call it journalism. It's really marketing in a lot of cases. If you look up something like 2019 personal finance or 2019 financial resolution, a lot of people are going to be talking about things like credit cards because they earn a lot of money if they sell you a credit card in 2019. And yeah, everybody's got a different financial situation, right? Some people are retired, some people are still working, some people have ample savings, some people have no savings, some people have investments, other people don't have investment. But overall, I would say that like the usual person that I know, and statistically we know this is true of most Americans, they just straight up don't have enough savings and they have too much debt. And so the first thing they need to do is save $1,000. Second thing they need to do is systematically and aggressively pay off their consumer debt. And the third thing they need to do is save an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months' expenses. And investing is great, but especially if your cat likes to jump on the counter in the kitchen. Well, investing is great, but investing is really the wrong thing to do if you don't have the debt paid off and if you don't have an emergency fund. Because without the emergency fund, the investments will likely need to be pulled out at the wrong time. And you're going to lose money to those timing mistakes, and we don't want to make avoidable mistakes. So the top 3 suggestions from me for you going into 2019. Number 1 is go to the bank and open a separate account that will hold the money that you're going to put towards savings or that you're going to use to pay off debt. Right? So I want you to add up, what your debt is. I want you to know what the minimum monthly payment is. And I want you to know how much you're going to be able to put beyond the minimum payment to pay off the debt faster. And I want you to do it from a bank account that's separate from your checking. Because if you do it this way, if you connect your debt accounts or your savings accounts to this separate account, and you have part of your paycheck, you redo payroll, you have part of your paycheck that goes directly into this debt payoff account, and another part of your paycheck that goes into your spending account, that goes into your normal checking account, it is going to naturally be much, much easier to just let the debt payoff happen. And you're not going to have to struggle with whether you should transfer the money out every month. The money is just going to be in the account to make those minimum debt payments. The money is just going to be in the account to make the extra debt payment. You know you've succeeded from that account if you just empty its entire balance into those debts or into the savings. And so there's not a lot of thinking involved. And if you take this small step early in the year, it's going to increase your chances of success later in the year by a lot. Now, to facilitate this system, you're going to need a budget that's accurate, which means a budget that accounts for your monthly required spending and also a budget that accounts for your annual required spending. Many people have car insurance, home insurance, vacation expenses, plane tickets, Christmas expenses that are predictable, but they don't occur on an annual basis. You still need to set aside money for them. And so it's a great idea over this next weekend to create a monthly budget and an annual budget so that you know how much money you're going to need when, and that's going to inform how aggressively you're going to be able to pay off that debt. And I think with the annual budget, you want to be detailed about it. You want to put down a number for Christmas 2019. Is the debt going to be paid off by then? If it is, then that number can be a little higher. If not, then that number needs to be a little bit lower. But you need to just have a number. Can that number change over the next year? Sure. Are all the numbers in the monthly and annual budgets going to be correct? No. That's not the point. The point is that you're paying attention. The point is that you have a plan to work with, that you have something to review, that you have something to compare, that you have something to keep yourself on track. And I can't understate how important a written budget is in reaching financial goals. Without one, you're not likely to reach the goals. There are too many distractions. And finally, you're going to have a little bit of free time if you're not spending money, typically, right? You're going to have more nights at home. You're going to have more time when you're not out at that restaurant. And a good use for at least part of that time is to up your career game, to take an online class, to watch an educational YouTube series, to take advantage of Khan Academy and these other free online resources. It may not pay off immediately. It may not pay off in the next year. But that knowledge will pay off eventually. It will help you to earn more money, to reach your career goals, and potentially pay off the debt faster. You know, part of the process is making a budget and seeing what your spending is and cutting out spending that isn't contributing to your happiness, that's preventing you from being happy by allowing the debt to continue to exist. But another part of the equation is increasing your income, increasing your cash flow, so that you can pay down things faster, so that you have more flexibility in the future, so that you have more opportunity in the future to invest in a small business or to take 6 months off work to spend with your new kid. And so the third thing I'd like you to look at is how you can advance your career, what education you need, how can you get that education, what does it cost, where are you going to be education-wise in the next 6 months or in the next year, and why. All right, so that's it for things I want you to focus on. There are more things, but I think that focusing on these 3 things for most people will definitely get you ahead. And now here are the 3 things I don't want you to worry about. Number 1 is a credit score. It's just a distraction. Increasing your credit score is something you do when you want to take out more debt. And debt is what you do when you want to commit financial suicide. So don't worry about the credit score. Everyone is going to be talking about the credit score, about how to let you see your free credit score, about how to increase your credit score quickly, about what card you can get with which credit score. Screw the credit score. It's not going to help you. Number 2, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Don't worry about buying Bitcoin. It's just a convoluted way of gambling. It's not investing. So don't worry about Bitcoin or crypto. The news is going to continue talking about that stuff, and it's going to continue to lack value in most cases, in pretty much all cases. I think personally that blockchain's first really valuable use will likely be within a single business, just as a piece of technology to track transactions. It won't be as a coin that people trade. And finally, debt consolidation. Debt consolidation is what people do when they want the debt to be gone, but they don't want to do the hard work to actually pay off the debt. And most of the time, it does not help to get the debt paid off. You fold your credit card debt into a home equity line of credit. All you did was move the debt. Can you save a little bit on interest rates? Yeah, sometimes. But if you're paying off the debt aggressively, you're trying to minimize the effect of those interest rates, because the faster you pay off the debt, the less the interest rate matters. So don't worry about debt consolidation. Worry about paying off the debt as fast as possible. All right, well, that is it for 5-Year Club video number 354. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a fabulous evening.